Hey everybody, I've been thinking about this pimple that I've been hiding with my finger. See that pimple there? I want to show it to you next to it. What's this? What's this right here? Right there? That's my birthmark. Never been able to grow hair there my entire life. Now, I'm embarrassed about this, and I'm embarrassed about this. The pimple is it's a little blemish. It means nothing. This is nothing. But I always try to cover this up. And I wore a hat today because I didn't want anybody to see this pimple. Why? Why didn't I want people to see it? Because I want people to think about me a certain way. When I was diagnosed with cancer and I had to have my colon removed, I had a bag. I had, right here, you can see the scar, right there. My intestine came out here for about a year. And I had a bag that was sucked on there, and I used to poop into a bag. And it just poured out of my stomach into a bag. When I first found out this was going to happen to me, you know what bothered me more than anything? It wasn't the pain, it wasn't the surgery, it wasn't anything other than the shame, the humiliation, the fear of how others would perceive me. The fear of how others would perceive me. I try to pretend like I'm slim. I want to get a good camera angle, a good light so I'll look good. See, if I turn this camera around this way, I notice, if I get it like this, I notice that I look jowly and old. Some of the pictures, some of the videos, when you see when the light's not right, I look my age. And I want to get an angle where I look better than I actually look. So when you see the videos, you say, hey, he's a nice looking guy. Instead of, hey, look at this, old trash bag, because I'm almost 50 years old. This is how I should look. It wouldn't matter how I looked at all if I didn't feel that it mattered to other people. If I didn't feel people were watching me. When you're a kid, they bully you and torture you. And I got tortured as a kid, as many people did, for all sorts of stuff. I was a fat kid. I'm still a fat kid. I was a short kid. I'm still a short kid. Some guy from Egypt posted me a comment, and he wanted me to make a video because he has a problem. And his problem is that he stutters. Now, see, the bag, the ileostomy that I had, that bag, at least I was able to hide it. We have a lot of these issues, our little secrets that we carry around with us that we can hide. But when you stutter, you can't hide. When you have a tumor on your face, you can't hide. When you're missing an arm, you can't hide. I've got a friend of mine who's blind and in a wheelchair and severely disabled. And all the difficulties in his life, he said, they asked him, what's the most difficult thing you've ever had to endure in your life? What's the hardest? The blindness, the wheelchair, the chronic pain, trying to get around in town by yourself? He says, no, the hardest part is getting teased. What a waste. How could anybody, especially in a Christian environment or a Muslim environment, this guy in Egypt, I figure the place is mostly Muslims. It looks like Muslim children and Christian children and atheist children are all equally cruel to each other. I mean, who's teaching these children? If I witnessed my children being cruel to someone else for any reason, it would stop that moment. And you know what? And it's not enough to say, hey, I don't treat people cruelly. That doesn't help. It doesn't help. I mean, okay, fine, you're not part of the problem, but you're also not part of the solution. If 100 people are standing around and one person is teasing another person and you're doing nothing, you really are part of the problem. If you're not part of the solution, because one person standing there getting teased on, he sees 100 people and no one coming to his rescue, your inability to stand up for what's right, for him, is an add-on of the pain. For him, you're in compliance. All those who stand by and do nothing are in agreement with the bad guy. You're doing nothing. You're guilty. That's the way I feel about it. And I think I remember the Prophet Muhammad saying, someone had said something about that he had said, that a smile was charity. And who needs this charity more than someone, say, who stutters, who's trying to get by in Egypt or anywhere else in the world, and he opens up his mouth to try to present himself. All the insecurities of his life come out, people look at him, give him funny looks, or do nothing. If I'm standing there and he says something and he's feeling insecure, I'll put my hand on his shoulder. I'll smile at him. I'll say, hey, how you doing? Make a little conversation. We owe this to each other. If you want to know what you can do for world peace, whenever you run into anybody who's different than you, show them a little extra something, a little extra love. We owe it to humanity to do this. It's a little thing, but it can make the difference between this young man who's having a hard life. Why should he be having a hard life? It's hard enough that he has a hard time spitting out what he wants to say. But on top of that, we have to add insult to injury to make the hardest part of his disability the way he feels that other people are looking at him. It makes me sick. So anyway, let me know what you think.